July, only on Showtime.
He's a heavyweight of a different breed. The White Buffalo, Franz Botha, looking to separate himself from the rest of the heavyweight herd, faces undefeated knockout artist Lee Gilbert. Plus, the IBF super middleweight title is up for grabs. It's #1 contender Charles Brewer versus #2 Gary Ballard. Only champions will emerge. Botha versus Gilbert, Brewer versus Ballard. Next, only on Showtime, America's #1 boxing network.
I've got dreams, dreams to remember. I've got dreams, dreams to remember. Nobody knows what I feel inside. All I know, I walked away and cried. I've got dreams. Listen to me.
I've got dreams.
Rock dreams.
Dreams to remember.
If you're gonna dream,
I've got dreams.
dream big. On Showtime, America's #1 boxing network.
He is a former IBF champion and now a highly ranked contender.
You gotta admire this guy. Boy, he's a tough, gritty guy. What a heart on Franz Botha.
But many doubt his ability to enter boxing's elite.
How did Botha get here? He looks exhausted.
The White Buffalo may soon be an endangered species. Now, Franz Botha is out to prove that his momentary ownership of the IBF heavyweight title was not a fluke. Tonight, Botha defends the recently created WBA North American title against undefeated Lee Gilbert. Plus, Philadelphia's aggressive #1 contender Charles Brewer hopes to join the ranks of the super middleweight champions. It's Brewer versus #2 contender South Africa's Gary Ballard for the vacant IBF super middleweight title. Coming up on Showtime Championship Boxing. And welcome to the Sun Dome on the campus of the University of South Florida, the home of the Bulls. The fans of this area used to seeing big-time college basketball, but tonight the Sun Dome is home to big-time boxing. And on this, the first official day of summer, we settle in for some Boxing by the Bay. It's a doubleheader featuring a pair of championship fights. Hello again, everybody. I'm Steve Albert. Glad you could join us. Tonight we have 2 title belts at stake, including a world championship. Our main event features a new-look, slimmed-down White Buffalo, former IBF heavyweight champ Franz Botha, as he defends his WBA North American heavyweight title against undefeated but unproven Lee Gilbert. Botha's credibility continues to seesaw up and down. Back in November, his stock soared with his inspiring, although losing effort against IBF heavyweight champ Michael Moore, but he followed that up with a less than spectacular win over unrated James Stanton last month. Now, if Botha wants another title shot, it behooves him to win impressively here tonight. In our co-feature, you'll see IBF #1 contender Charles Brewer meet #2 rated Gary Ballard for the vacant IBF super middleweight crown. In addition, we'll have highlights from the WBA bantamweight and IBF cruiserweight championships, and on top of that, we'll hear from Evander Holyfield, Don King, and Mike Tyson's co-manager John Horn as we preview their highly anticipated rematch just 1 week from tonight in Las Vegas. And with that, let me bring on my ringside partners. First, the fight doctor, Ferdy Pacheco. And Ferdy, all of a sudden, the super middleweight division has become very, very interesting in terms of its world champs.
Yeah, I think that's because we have 3 guys at the very top. Steve Collins, Frankie Lyles, neck and neck. Those guys are great. Robin Reed, I'm not sure of, but he's right in there to make that mix. Now, what's interesting about tonight is Brewer, if Brewer looks good, he pushes himself into that picture. He's one of that formula. That makes 4 guys fighting each other, which can lead to crossroads situations and eventually one champion, albeit a people's champion. There'll be one guy who represents the super middles.
All right, Ferdy, it's Brewer versus Ballard up first. Coming up in our main event, Franz Botha and Lee Gilbert. Would you be surprised as we bring in Bobby Ches if Franz Botha wasn't extremely sharp and focused in light of his last performance?
You know, Steve, in professional boxing, nothing surprises me anymore. With the individual nature of the business and some of the characters involved, nothing can be too much of a surprise. But Franz Botha is on the verge of another heavyweight title shot. Either rematch with Michael Moore or the winner of Tyson Holyfield. So if he's not focused, coming off that last performance against James Stanton where he received a lot of criticism, shame on him. It's just that simple.
Botha could be doing Slim Fast commercials. And on that note, we want to bring in the other member of our broadcast team. He'll be our roving reporter, and he's standing by in the Franz Botha dressing room right now. Here's Jim Gray. Jim?
All right. Thank you very much, Steve. I am with Franz Botha. Franz, not a real impressive performance against James Stanton. Do you feel as though tonight is a crossroads in your career and you must win this fight to continue it?
Definitely. You know, after the James Stanton fight, what we did, I went back and me and my manager, Mr. McPherson, and Don King sat down. And what we got is a condition and a nutritionist. So, you know, we corrected a lot of mistakes.
A lot of the flab is off. You're a different body, aren't you?
Yes, different body, you know, around the same weight, but a lot of more muscle and a lot of flab is off. So I think I'm going to have more energy coming this fight. And we'll see a new white buffalo out there. I mean, this is like a crossroads for me.
Okay, congratulations. No, we'll congratulate you maybe if you win the fight. We'll talk to you after the fight. Good luck tonight.
Definitely. Thank you.
All right, let's send it back out to Steve.
All right, thanks, Jim. Yes, serious ramifications as Botha looks to get back into the big money heavyweight sweepstakes. Coming up first, though, from the USF Sundome in Tampa, it's the IBF Super Middleweight Championship. Top contender Charles Brewer of Philadelphia takes on number 2 ranked Gary Ballard from South Africa. Well, the super middleweight division took a hard hit in stature when superstar Roy Jones moved up to light heavyweight, but unlike the middleweights who are really fighting an identity crisis, the 168-pound weight class has bounced back with some pretty good name recognition. Highly regarded fabulous Frankie Lyles, as Fertie pointed out, who beat Jones in the amateurs, is your WBA champion. Fast-rising Englishman Robin Reed, with his movie star looks, has emerged as the WBC title holder, and the popular Irish Steve Collins heads up the WBO list. So the super middleweight division has become somewhat attractive. Tonight, the IBF has its say as number 1 contender Charles the Hatchet Brewer, a tough Philly fighter with an aggressive crowd-pleasing style, squares off with number 2 challenger Gary Ballard from South Africa as they meet for the vacant crown. It has been a roller coaster career for Brewer, who tonight hopes to realize his dream of becoming a world champion.
I've gotten the opportunity to become a champion. As you know, I am the USBA champion, which, you know, I take that championship with pride. I mean, it makes me the best fighter in the United States. Now the stakes are much higher, and I get an opportunity to become the best fighter in the world. A champion, actually. I'm already the best super middleweight in the world. Now I want to become a world champion.
Physically, I'm probably in the best shape of my life. I mean, it's, that goes without saying. Most important part of my life. Something I've been working for almost all my life, and yeah, you better believe it, I'm in the best shape of my life.
All right, Charles Brewer with the good hand speed, very aggressive style. What do you make of his overall fighting ability?
You know, Steve, his overall fighting ability is not bad. He claims to be somewhat of a boxer puncher. He says I can box, but what he really does is he likes to get right to the fight. Brawl, throw a lot of punches early, and with his good speed, if Ballard doesn't have a good chin, it can heat up real quick and be a fast fight.
All right, Brewer has the good hand speed. They say that Ballard has a pretty good punch. Is this an even competitive matchup, Fertie?
Anytime you have a guy with a questionable chin, another guy with an explosive punch, it's competitive, believe me. This is a very meaningful fight for both guys. I think it's highly competitive. It may be the fight of tonight.
Well, it's only Ballard's second fight at 168, campaigning almost exclusively as a light heavyweight in the past 175. And we will see how he does. A lot of people are wondering what he's doing here, getting a world title shot. Here he is, number 2 IBF super middleweight contender, Gary Ballard. He says, don't be misled by watching what he's doing here, getting a world title shot. Here he is, number 2 IBF super middleweight contender, Gary Ballard. He says, don't be misled by watching tapes of my fights. I've changed my style, and that will deceive Brewer. And Fertie, he says this is destiny. Destiny's great, but it wouldn't hurt to have a good right hand either, right?
Yes, that's the old cliche that holds in boxing. But this kid is really prepared. In the interview, he's so impressive in his determination to win. I think we're going to see a fight where the determination, whoever's more determined, wants it more, wins this fight.
The book on Ballard, power but slow. So we could see Charles Brewer going to the angles and hooks, etc. A rise, fall, and rise career. Number 6 is a middleweight in line for a title shot, then shockingly KO'd in the first by Lonnie Beasley in his own hometown of Philly. After losing his next fight to Rafael Williams by TKO, he tumbled out of the ratings. It's taken him almost 3 years to climb back, although now at 168, his first chance to become a world champ. And Bobby, the question with Brewer is his chin.
You know, Steve, the fact he's been down a few times by fighters that are not considered to be big punchers makes his chin susceptible by reputation, and rightly so. The fact of the matter is, he's been down by guys who can't punch, which means he's got to get up and finish. So far, he's gotten up. They've stopped the fights. He has an excuse for everyone. He's on a mission, though. Here he said he's got to leave Ballard on his face to win this title. He believes that.
He's a fast starter, very strong early, with a very exciting style and very confident and very intelligent. He's also a computer programmer. Let's size him up right now as we check out the tail of the tape. At 27, Brewer is 3 years younger than Ballard. The height, as you can see, is almost even, each under the 168-pound weight limit, and a pretty good 4.5-inch reach advantage for Charles Brewer. And the IBF rules for this World Championship fight. Scoring operates under the 10-point must system. 3 judges will score the fight. There is no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. In addition, a fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. If an accidental foul occurs before the end of the 6th round, the fight is ruled a no decision. If it happens after the end of the 6th, they refer to the scorecards. Incomplete rounds are not scored. So here at the University of South Florida Sundome in Tampa, Florida, set for the IBF Super Middleweight Championship, Charles Brewer versus Gary Ballard. Let's get the formal introductions from our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
We have Harry Davis, Rafael Santos, and Peter Trematera. And presenting to you a referee in charge of this bout, he'll be giving instructions after the introductions, Max Parker. All right, fans, here we go with the vacant IBF Super Middleweight Championship of the World, scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing. Introducing to you first on my right, he is fighting out of the blue corner. Wearing blue trunks with white trim, he is fighting out of Newport Beach, California, by way of Durban, Natal, South Africa. He weighed in at 167.5 pounds with a record of 22 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. He has 18 wins coming by way of knockout. He is ranked the IBF number 2 super middleweight contender in the world. Introducing Gary Boom Boom Ballard. And presenting his opponent across the ring in this vacant title bout, on my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing red trunks with white trim, fighting out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He weighed in at a trim and ready 165 pounds. His record stands at 28 wins, 5 losses, 19 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the USBA Super Middleweight Champion, ranked the number 1 IBF contender in the world. Introducing Charles the Hatchet Brewer. Once again, Max Parker is our referee in charge, now to give instructions.
Let's go. Easy, baby. Okay, gentlemen, I don't lie, clean and sportsmanlike contest. This bout is for the IBF Super Middleweight Championship. 3 knockout rule has been waived. In case there's a knockdown, the boxer standing will go to the first reach corner. Remain there until I tell you to come out. You both understand that? Gentlemen, I wish you both luck. Touch gloves, come out, box time the bell.
Charles Brewer, a true Philadelphia fighter, fan favorite of the legendary Blue Horizon, comes in and fights. Not afraid to take a punch. 19 knockouts and 28 wins. 16 of his 19 KOs in 3 rounds or less. Number 2 ranked Gary Ballard, looking to become the 4th world champion today from South Africa. The growth and popularity of boxing in South Africa attributed in part to its president, Nelson Mandela, a former amateur boxer and huge fight fan. Round 1 scheduled for 12 for the vacant IBF Super Middleweight Championship. Brewer said he watched tapes of Ballard thought the hand speed really stood out, but it was so-so. Brewer feels his hand speed will pose a problem for Ballard, and Ballard told us Brewer will be misled by the tapes he's watched of himself.
The first long hook that he landed flustered Ballard.
Oh, straight right hand, and down goes Ballard, seconds into the fight.
I'll tell you what, Brewer said the speed was going to be the key, and right there you saw it. Ballard just did not pick up the punches, didn't even attempt to block him.
And he is on wobbly legs, 28 seconds into the first round.
I think the first punch got him in trouble. The second one certainly pushed him over the edge.
And now Brewer going in for the early finish here with a combination to the head of Ballard.
You know, Ballard has a reputation of being a pretty good puncher with the right hand. But right there you saw a straight, crisp right hand by Charles Brewer right down the pipe.
That's only the second time in his career Ballard has been on the canvas in 25 professional fights.
He's on the high wire looking to jump off right now because he is rocking. He can't, his legs are not with him at all.
So Ballard looking just to survive this first round and survive the continuing barrage of Charles Brewer.
And Steve, he's on wobbly legs. He's running into punches. He's just, the speed is the big factor. Brewer's punches, Ballard's not even picking them up.
No, they're so fast, they're coming in. The top half of his body is not in sync with the bottom half. I mean, he is just in bad shape.
Well, we'll see what kind of recuperative powers the South African of the blue trunks has. Gary Ballard trying to hang in there, but I'll tell you what, is Brewer letting him off the hook here by slowing down the pace?
I can't imagine why he would slow down with those fast hands, having this guy so rocky. Bobby, what would keep this guy from just attacking and putting him out right now?
Well, you know what? Ballard has a reputation for being pretty durable with a pretty good chin and coming back. So Brewer doesn't want to throw all his punches in the first round and not have anything. We have a 12-round fight. He started out actually a little slow, picked his shots and picked his spots and used timing. He's still boxing, and I think boxing smart.
Oh, and you got a guy this rocky, though, Bobby. I mean, this guy.
Oh, combination. Flush on the face of Ballard, but he hangs in there.
I'll tell you what, Ballard took a better right hand there than the one that dropped him. But again, the one that dropped him, he didn't see him. When you don't see him, they catch you looking. Boy, they hurt.
He's tough, but I don't care how tough you are. You can't take these kind of punches. This guy's that right hand landed solid, would have put him away.
Ballard showing tremendous composure here and hanging around after tasting the canvas in the first 28 seconds.
Right, no punch. I got you. Back it up. Drop
His hands, Steve, and his reflexes just seem a little bit too slow. He's one pace behind Brewer. He's not landing his shots, and he's catching all of Brewer's.
He has no shots. What he was throwing was power punches.
Ballard makes it.
What time is it?
All right?
Yeah.
All right.
Border.
Now let us see if he can take yours, Gary. He just took what he bets he got. Now let's see if he can take yours.
All right?
Let's take a look at that first very fast punch, which rocked Ballard. He's just, you can see him just looking, just searching for that. That's the right hand that dropped him.
You know, you watch Brewer, he sets him up nice. He's looking, he's watching, he stuffs the jabs. Another look at the same knockdown. Right hand right over the jab. Ballard didn't really even make an attempt to block it. I don't think he saw it.
And that's it, Bobby. I don't think he saw it. It landed flush.
Ballard, the one coming down in weight. You'd think he'd have more power. Here's Brewer unloading, and Ballard comes back with a left hook to the jaw of Brewer. And keep in mind, Brewer has that suspect chin, a straight, hard right by Brewer.
No, there was a good left hook right there by Ballard that caught Brewer's attention. Brewer shook it off, and he's back fighting. This is the type of fight that Brewer likes. He likes to get in the thick of things and get busy.
Brewer showing strength and accuracy in round one. Ballard down 28 seconds into the first from a straight right hand. And a straight right hand there by Ballard that sent Brewer back.
He has nothing on those punches. Absolutely nothing on the punches. He's in weakened condition.
It's just too slow. He's throwing the punches with a sound base, but they're just not traveling at the right speed for his weight. And he needs to pick it up.
And I don't know why Brewer doesn't pick that up and counter punch him to death, because those punches are coming in so slow. You could counter that fast.
Well, Brewer living up to his reputation is a very fast starter and very strong early. We'll see if this continues. He's a tall fighter who fights short. In other words, lots of pressure, likes to crowd his opponents.
Fast starter is good. Fast finisher is better.
You know, I was a little surprised when he hurt Ballard in the first round that he didn't stuff that jab up high and come in with a straight right hand to the belly. He didn't go to the body much. Too much head hunting. Maybe the body would have worked.
Brewer continues to force the action.
Well, what he's doing is letting him get himself back into the fight. That's another nice right hand.
Get him out, Gary. Get him out, baby.
You know, by letting this pace slow down, Brewer is letting Ballard back into the fight. As the more minutes go by, the better off he is, Ballard.
Break. Back it up. Back it up. Don't push down.
Charles Brewer, 28-5 with 19 knockouts, but 2 of his 5 losses have come by KO. Ballard, 22-2-1 with 18 knockouts. One of those losses to former champion Tolani Malinga, fellow South African. That's the most recognizable name on his record, and a wobbly Ballard manages to stay up.
Double left hook to the temple by Brewer. He hit Ballard, and Ballard had a delayed reaction. His legs came out from under him. That's what happens when you get hit in those sensitive spots in the temple.
Again, able to bounce back, though, and look at this, showing offense afterwards.
Not much offense. That's all show. I mean, the thing is, he's got a button this guy is pushing. I mean, Brewer is pushing a button on him. He hits him, and there's a delayed reaction. He goes back. That's the second time he did that.
But how about this man's heart?
Oh, that he's got.
We talked to Brewer about his brawling tactics, and he said, listen, I can box too. And I know his trainer, Bobby Boogaloo Watts, one of the premier boxers in the middleweight division some years back, taught him to relax, showed him some good defense. He doesn't have to get hit, and he can still do the damage. And he's doing a great job here tonight.
Final seconds of round 2.
Ballard's taking a beating.
Oh, there's a bad cut now in the face of Ballard as he heads back to the corner.
Let's see if that's a cut or that. No, it's in his nose, or what is it? His nose is bleeding an awful lot. I don't see the cut. Unless that's a cut on the forehead. All I see is his nose is bleeding. Let us show you a punch that gets him, and then there's like a delayed reaction. It happened in the first round with a left hook, and it happened again here. Watch it closely after he gets hit. There's like a split-second count, and all of a sudden, there he goes. Look at that. Now watch his legs. They can't quite get under him. Incredible that he came back from that. It really is.
You're all right. You're all right. You're all right. Breathe out your mouth. Breathe out your mouth. Let me pinch it also. Stop breathing.
Yes, the blood as a result of a blow to the nose. Ballard connecting with his best punch. A left hook just 9 seconds into the second, but Brewer won the rest of the round, capping it with a double left hook high to Ballard's temple the last minute of round 2. We enter round number 3. A vicious assault here by Brewer, and a game Ballard tries to fight back, and the blood continues to pour out of the nose of Ballard.
Well, I'll tell you what, Brewer must have hurt me because he came out, he went right to the body, then came back up top. Triple left hook to the side, a right hand over the top. It looked good.
Brewer continues to land, and Ballard has no answers.
I get the feeling from watching Ballard he hasn't faced enough of the Americanized fighters, the American rhythm, speed, and moves, and it's showing here very much.
He certainly got caught cold, and I believe that's part of it. He hadn't seen that kind of rhythm and tempo on these fighters, and the fast hands of Brewer have caught him completely off guard and by surprise.
Brewer continues to have his way, flicking the jab now, looking to set up the right. A wild miss there by Ballard. Oh, and an overhand right, just a glancing blow by Brewer. There's a straight left hand to the face of Ballard.
Right, no.
Max Parker, the third man of the ring from Tampa.
See, Brewer can use the jab and the right hand whenever he wants to. Ballard is not pressuring him. Even if he's not quick, he's got to put the pressure on and close the gap. He cannot stay at the end of Brewer's punches, or it's going to be a nightmare for him.
It is a nightmare. This is a nightmare is the right word. Nothing he can do is going to bail him out of this hole.
Oh, he got him. Brewer on shaky legs now.
Brewer with that left hook. He hit him with a good counter left hook, and that hurt Brewer, got his attention. Let's see what happens now.
Brewer has visited the canvas several times in his career, and what a bounce back here by Ballard. Ballard coming back.
Ballard just walked through a right hand, Steve. He senses the possibility of upsetting Brewer right here, but I'll tell you what, He's still taking a lot of punch now on the way in.
Just under a minute remaining in round 3, and a turnaround.
Well, it just spurred Brewer to faster and harder action, but boy, we were told that he's got a weak chin. We just saw an evidence of it. And that, Bobby, is why I say you should finish fast when you got a guy around. Don't fool around. Get him out. Because his chin is suspect. Brewer's. Get him out of there.
Yeah, but you know what? Sometimes, Ferdy, what happens with a guy who has a suspect chin, if he throws caution to the wind, he gets stuck in a fight where he might get beat, where if he boxes sharp and boxes smart, he stays out of harm's way.
But in that first round, he was out. Ballard was out. It was just one way. That's when you take him out.
Ballard gaining confidence now, and Brewer opening himself up for shots. Final seconds of round 3. Left hooks and right uppercuts to the body by Ballard. A strong third round.
Let's take a look at that surprising turn of action. Just what we were saying, he can't get out of here. He lands that left hook. Look what's happened. Whoa, look what happened to the legs of Brewer. It's a good thing he had enough left to hold on. Look at him holding on. Bobby, take another look at
this. It's a good counter punch. You see that Ballard just watching and waiting, and he throws. He's hit with a nice right hand there, and he just lets that counter hook fly, and he gets caught on the tip of the chin. You see, well, they didn't finish rolling the tape, got caught on the tip of the chin. You can't punch with a puncher if you don't have to. You shouldn't.
The crowd loving the heart displayed by these two super middleweights. Both fighters have been stunned at times here, but they just keep throwing the big punches. And here we go, round 4, the vacant IBF Super Middleweight Championship.
Well, when you see a fighter hanging on by his teeth, and he comes back like Ballard did, you have to say you're in the presence of a guy with a lot of heart, boy. I mean, a lot of heart.
Ballard was down 28 seconds into the first round. He looked extremely wobbly, and he's been able to come back here.
You know, it's not just the Americanized offense that could cause some troubles for Ballard, but the defense. He may not be able to find Brewer when he gets him hurt, and that's going to be key. When he gets hurt, he's right there for Brewer, and when Brewer gets hurt, he moves, he slips, he slides, he ducks, he uses some rhythm to get out of harm's way.
Bobby, I think this guy's making a mistake, giving him too much respect now. He's backing up from him, he's letting him get confident instead of launching an attack of his own. He's just walking away from him. That's not good. You don't encourage Ballard like that.
Brewer's got to stuff the jab again and take that right hand, fire it in the same place.
Exactly.
Over the jab, right, just like that, and down the middle.
There you go.
Body shots by Brewer. Straight right hand by Gary. Ballard pushing Brewer back. Ballard continues to come forward. Brewer fighting while in retreat.
Boy.
But a left hook by Brewer, and Brewer has answers.
Don't push him, baby. Boxing.
See, on the way in, Ballard's eating the jab, whereas when Brewer blocks it and spins off, he doesn't eat the full force of the jab. Most of it's on his gloves. He rolls with it. Ballard taking the full force of it dead in his face on the way in.
Oh, once again, Ballard off balance.
Watch your hands, hand free.
That was off balance.
Much more of a balance shot, but he still got hit with a clean left hook.
Less than a minute remaining in round 4 in what has developed into a terrific fight.
Oh, Ballard has got some condition, Bobby. I mean, to come back from that and still be able to punch, this conditioning must be superb.
You know, I'd hate to test my conditioning by getting hit so often. He's got to move his head. He's got to get out of the way when he throws punches, block him and spin.
Ballard coming down from 175, a straight right hand and a combination, a straight right flush of the face by Brewer, and what keeps this guy up?
Yeah, those were two mind-snapping shots, and nothing happened.
Back comes Gary Ballard with a right cross.
There you see again that Americanized, that rhythm-type maneuvering that gets Brewer out of trouble. Ballard doesn't have that. It's going to cause him some trouble.
But Ballard's punches are growing in intensity and hurt. He's trying to put hurt on him now.
indeed, we anxiously await another one of those nights to remember. Holyfield, Tyson 2, a week from tonight, Saturday, June 28th, MGM Grand in Las Vegas, live on pay-per-view. 5 in a scorcher. Charles Brewer in the red, Gary Ballard in the dark blue, whipping left uppercut there by the Hatchet, and there they tangled legs, and it's not a knockdown. That was a slip.
Yeah, that was a tangle of feet and just an off-balance move.
Blood continues to flow from the nose. That's the product of that stinging jab Bobby's talking about. The jab, and then the right hand crosses, and it lands all night long. There it is, just as we talked about.
There you at least see Ballard coming. He's ducking under. He's moving his head. Something he's got to do. If he keeps that head stationary, it's going to get taken off tonight.
Charles Brewer is firmly in control through 4 rounds, but the challenger showing resiliency.
He's slowly creeping out of a hole, but he is deep, deep behind on points every round.
Do you see how slow that looping right hand was? That is very, very bad. That slow looping right hand, not only was it so easy to block, but if Brewer decides to sit on it and fire one down the middle, that's going to really cause serious trouble for Ballard.
Oh, a low blow. Oh, and a left hook, short crisp left hook. Down goes Ballard again.
4, 5, 6. Oh, he's in bad shape. Bad shape.
He's in trouble.
He tells
this fight's over. His legs aren't there.
He's all right.
His legs aren't there, guys.
And his mind is not far behind.
Here comes Brewer, looking to finish it off. He goes down again.
This fight's over, guys. The legs aren't there. He has no equilibrium.
Now he goes back.
He's just going to get hurt. This fight is finished.
No, he should not allow it.
That's it. Max Parker gave him every opportunity, but wisely waves it off. And it is all over here in round 5, and Charles the Hatchet Brewer is the new IBF Super Middleweight Champion.
Well, we certainly have one to add to those 3 we were talking about now. Now it's a 4-horse race. Now we got something cooking with the super middleweights.
His offensive skills were excellent. He's got good, sharp speed. He boxed well. Boogaloo Watts showed him what to do. He didn't have to go out there and brawl and put himself in harm's way, and he got the job done. Maybe a couple rounds later, much more effectively and efficiently. I like the job.
Bobby, I think the other thing that you pointed out that was so crucial is these people don't move their heads. When they don't move their heads, they're going to get picked apart. Somebody's got to teach these guys to move their heads.
The Americanized offense as well as defense always causes a problem for fighters throughout the world. You've got to move that head. That's a target, the big one.
Caught him early. Early he got caught with it, got stunned, and then got dropped. And when he got dropped, to get up, it took a lot of guts in the fight. For 5 more rounds, took even more guts.
So Charles Brewer, one of those rare cases of a fighter becoming a world champion, but has never in his life been a full-time fighter. And that's a remarkable feat.
That was a beautiful shot we just saw at the left hook.
Well, you can look at it now.
Brewer just waits inside. See him dig into the body, dig into the body. Watch him. Stays there, dig to the body, dig to the body. Watch him come up. Dig to the body, and bang.
And
Ballard's hands came down. He took it up top. Never expected it, never saw it on his behind.
And that was a big bang. That was a bang right on the button. It's hard to take that kind of punch, and I go down, especially when you're exhausted and with a nose that's all messed up.
So there he is posing for the photographers, the new IBF Super Middleweight title holder in his first world title shot. Now 29-5 with 20 knockouts. Charles Brewer.
Well, let's take a look at the second knockdown. This is the absolute end of the fiasco here for Ballard, because he had no chance getting punched hard, hooked on top of the head, and he's going.
Even there, when he held his hands up, he kept his head still, Ferdy, still and straight.
Yeah, you're right.
He could have moved both his hands and his head and get out of harm's way, but he didn't, and unfortunately, that's part of the style he's going to have to fix for himself.
Brave he is, but he's got to work on a lot of basics.
Well, Charles the Hatchet Brewer, who came in emotionless, no butterflies, realizing the opportunity of a lifetime was in front of him. And he said if he won tonight, he'd be making better money, but he'll go back to school to advance his computer training. We are set for the official time from our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 1 minute 40 seconds of round number 5. Our referee in charge, Max Parker, stops the contest. He's the winner by way of technical knockout. He is the new IBF Super Middleweight Champion of the world, Charles the Hatchet Brewer.
So there you have it. Charles the Hatchet Brewer back to Philadelphia as the IBF super middleweight.
You were in complete control from the very onset, 28 seconds into the round. What enabled you to establish control so quickly here tonight?
First of all, it was my mental attitude. I have been stressing the fact the whole week that coming into this fight that I had very numb feelings about this fight, and that I don't.
Why? Why?
Well, I'm fighting a promoter's fighter, and what I consider his hometown. Although he's not from Florida, he's from South Africa, but he is Don King's fighter. So I felt that I was fighting against all odds, but I wasn't concerned with that. My only objective tonight was to win. I didn't even care how. I had very numb feelings for this fight. I just wanted to become a world champion.
Can you explain your rise, fall, and rise type of career? It seems to be going back up now again.
Yeah, I think I'm on a hiatus here. I think I'm at the high point of my career. Coming into this fight, I felt the same, actually. I was at the top of my game, and I stressed again that coming into this fight, I had absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. Just to have the opportunity to fight for a world title was a hell of a goal for me. It was a goal that I tried to work for all my career.
Do you now feel, Charles, that you're in there with Reed, with Collins, and could fight Frankie Lyles and unify this thing?
I felt that 3 fights ago. I don't take anything away from any of the champions, but I always consider myself to be one of the best out there. I had never ducked anyone. Any super middleweight, I've never ducked anyone. I've always been around. I'm like a bad virus. I just won't go away.
Well, you were a bad virus tonight. Congratulations, Charles.
Thank you. I'd like to thank my sparring partner I had that helped me get in condition.
Thank you very much, Jim. Congratulations to Charles the Hatchet Brewer, making a lot of fans in the city of brotherly love very, very happy tonight. Well, earlier tonight, 2 other World Championship fights took place on the undercard here in Tampa, Florida. So right now, let's go back as we all take a look at some of the key highlights. We begin with the IBF Cruiserweight Championship. Adolfo Washington versus #1 contender Uriah Grant, Miami-based from Jamaica. Fellas, a fight that was even to the halfway point. The challenger poured it on. Here in the 9th, Grant peppered the champ with a constant barrage of blows.
Grant and Adolfo measuring each other out every round. This is one in which Grant pretty well took the title here.
And there it is. Grant moves to 26-12 in an upset. Washington falls to 26-4-1. Grant pulls off the surprise to win the title on a majority decision. Uriah Grant over Adolfo Washington, IBF Cruiserweight champion. WBA Bantamweight Championship now. Durang Sirawat versus Nana Kanadu. Sirawat coming in the champ. The 2 met last October, a vicious fight that was stopped by the ref after 10 due to too much punishment. Sirawat awarded a technical decision.
This fight, Steve, was very different. Kanadu came out, he controlled the fight from the beginning. That was a knockdown you just saw a minute ago, and here he just finishes up and puts an end to the story. New champion once again.
So Nana Kanadu reclaims his title 8 months after he lost it by stopping Durang Sirawat by TKO at 2:20 of round number 7. Once again, a title changes hands tonight. Well, let's switch gears right now. And yes, the anticipation builds as the countdown continues for the eagerly awaited rematch between Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson for the WBA Heavyweight Championship. It happens exactly 1 week from tonight at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas.